Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. And what I'm looking at is the Modelo Chelada. Sorry for the glare. The Modelo Chelada Limon y Sal. Lime and salt. It says with the refreshing flavors of lime and salt. This is a newer Chelada from Modelo. It was introduced in 2019. Not exactly sure when, but fairly early on in the year, I believe. I believe February, but I cannot confirm that for sure. So on the website, a little information about this beer. It says the Modelo Chelada Limon y Sal honors the origin of the Michelada tradition in a simple yet refreshing way. Modelo Chelada Limon y Sal contains water, barley malt, non-malted cereals, hops, natural lime flavor, and salt. It's 3.5% alcohol by volume. Hops are not listed. Per 24-ounce can, you've got 252 calories, 28 carbs, 780 milligrams of sodium. So there's a good bit of salt in here. Anyway, they've got some interesting stuff on the website, modelousa.com, if anybody's interested. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So this is not a michelada. This is a traditional chelada. It's got the lime and salt, but no tomato. So it should just pour like a pretty standard beer, I would imagine. 3.5%. For whatever reason, these Modelo cheladas are very low ABV, even the ones like this without the tomato to kind of dilute it. So as you can see, the appearance is a hazy golden color. You got about a 3.5, 4-finger white frothy head. Don't see any bubbles going up the glass. So let's get an aroma on this. Modelo is Grupo Modelo, which is InBev, imported by Crown Imports. So it's an InBev brand. It is brewed in Mexico. It smells, honestly, it smells like a stronger version of Bud Light Lime. It's got that natural lime flavor, so much like Bud Light Lime, which is brewed now with real lime peels. Okay, so it smells kind of like Bud Light Lime. You're definitely getting the lime, a little bit of the salt, with a backbone of Modelo. Just kind of smells like a salty, limey beer. All right, so without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers, guys. Very salty, very tart from the lime. You get the Modelo in the middle of the sip. It's got a nice little bready note in the middle of the sip. Carbonation is light to medium. The body is relatively light, although not as light as just a standard lager or your standard Modelo, because it's got the salt in there and the lime. I think the salt kind of makes it a little bit more heavier bodied, because it's I don't know, salty things are not necessarily as the salty drinks, I guess I should say, are not going to be as sessionable as those that are not. It's got a good bit of salt in it. It's very enjoyable. It is refreshing. It's crisp. It's clean. Finish is relatively dry. The lime is very nice. The salt is nice. It's maybe a little too much salt to want to drink too much of this. This is a one and done for me because of all the salt that's in it. But it is enjoyable. I'd rather, honestly, just have a regular Modelo Especial and put a little salt in it and squeeze fresh lime in it. I think that would be better. The lime flavor is good. It's not artificial tasting, but it's just not. It's kind of like if you were to take the lime concentrate and squeeze it in there versus just having a fresh lime and squeeze that into your beer. Not quite as fresh in that sense. Um, and when I go out to Mexican restaurants, a lot of times I'll get a Modelo Especial on draft with the lime and squeeze it in there myself. I think that's a lot better than this. It's a good product. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like I said, if you've had Bud Light Lime, it's a lot like that, but a little bit stronger with the lime flavor. And obviously, it's got the salt in there. And it's not as light bodied as Bud Light Lime, but it's got that similar flavor profile. It is very enjoyable. I'd rather have the micheladas, the tamarindo chelada picante, or just the regular chelada from them. I think, you know, if I'm going to have the salt and the lime in there, might as well have the tomato also. But this is a very enjoyable product nonetheless. I do think it is great. I'm not going to go into the excellent range. It's a little too salty for me, honestly. Maybe a little less on the salt, and it would have been in that A range for me. But it's still great nonetheless. It is refreshing. It's be great on a hot summer day, which we get a lot of those here in Georgia. Very refreshing beer. I'm going to go with an 88 out of 100. It is a B plus. It's getting there towards excellent, but it's a little too salty for me to want to drink too much of this. And honestly, if I'm going to drink something like this, I'd much rather just drink a Modelo Especial and put a little salt in it and squeeze some fresh lime in it. That would be much better. But nonetheless, a great product from Modelo. Um, Let me know if you can get it in your area. I would definitely recommend checking it out. If you can find it, it's I don't know, it was $2.39 maybe for the 24-ounce can. Not a bank breaker or a budget buster by any means. Very affordable. Just pick up a single and try it. Let me know what you think. I would recommend it, but like I said, a little too salty for me to want to drink too much of it. So 88 out of 100 for the Modelo Chelada Limon E Salt. That'll do it for this review, guys. Hope you're all having a great day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.